Welcome to the next lecture on operations on single random variable. Here we'll study about z-score, Chebyshev inequality and moment generating function. Coming to the z-score, in the last lecture also I have quoted about z-score. So coming to the z-score, here we'll study about it's actually a numerical measurement that describes a value relationship to the mean of a group of values. So when you take a mean of a group of values, from there if you want to measure the score, so how each parameter is varying, so that is actually we use z-score, x minus mu by sigma. So we calculate the expectation of x minus mu by sigma to actually see the deviation. So when you have data is equal to the x minus mu by sigma, if it is equal to 0, that means the complete data is identical to mean, isn't it? Expectation. And if you take the same data and if it is same as mean, definitely it is 0. If suppose if data of if it is 1 sigma away from the mean, then it is equal to your standard 1. So z-score is equal to 1. If data is 1 sigma, that means 1 deviation away from the mean. So in that case z-score is equal to 1. So like that 2 sigma away from the mean, then every time you get a different value. So it can be positive or negative. So z-score in the case of variance is always positive, but z-score can be either positive or negative. And coming to Chebyshev's inequality, so what is this again? That's why I actually we have discussed about z-score. X minus mu by sigma, it is only 1 sigma, but here if you introduce a term called k, constant k, then we actually result in Chebyshev's inequality. If the standard deviation is different from 0 and a positive number, the result is often quoted with a variant of Chebyshev's inequality. So if sigma is not 0, but it is some positive number, so it is not 1 sigma, now it is 2 sigma or 3 sigma. So if you have a constant k, then the probability of that will be always less than or equal to 1 by k square. So that means what, using Chebyshev's inequality, we are just specifying what can be the bound. So it is always less than 1 by k square. So this is nothing but the upper bound of the z-score with some positive constant and probability of that. And you can see it graphically also. So what does it mean? Mu is the average, the center point. Mean is a center point now. And if I vary that mu with some constant sigma, then either mu plus k sigma or mu minus k sigma. So you're moving away from the mean by some positive constant. Then the probability of that, having the probability of x random variable varying from mu plus sigma and mu minus sigma, it will be greater than or equal to 1 minus, obviously if it is less than or equal to 1 by k square, definitely it is greater than or equal to 1 minus 1 by k square. So this is the bound again. So k, the positive k constant. So 1 minus 1 by k square, what does it mean? These many values are within k standard deviations away from the mean. So how many values are within that? So the other way around, this is within k distributions away from the mean. If I take only 1 by k square, so those many standard deviation, the distribution values you can see, those many will be outside the mean. So that is the significance of Chebyshev's inequality. How many, so if you vary the standard deviation by a positive constant, how many are within the standard deviations away from the mean and how many values are above the standard deviations, k standard deviations away from the mean. That is the significance of Chebyshev's inequality. So the same way, just take an example. What is the minimum percentage of distribution that lie within 1.25 standard deviations of the mean? So what is the minimum percentage now? So how many will lie within these many standard deviations 1.25. So what does it mean? This is a positive constant now. K sigma is 1.25 sigma. So when 1.25 sigma, he is asking about that lie within the distribution. So it is 1 minus 1 by k square. So which is giving you around a value of 36. So 36% of observations are within the standard deviations of the mean. Coming to moment generating function. So in the last lecture we have seen moments. Moments always measure the statistical property of the distribution. So every time either the spread is increased or the tail of the distribution is increased towards left or right, skewness, and kurtosis is actually telling you about how pointy the distribution is. Like that, if you increase the if you go for nth order moment, then definitely the shape of the random variable distribution, the density function, how it looks like, that is signified by moment. How will you calculate the nth order moment? So you already know the formula. It is, if it is discrete, it is sigma x power n px of x, and you know, if it is continuous, it is x power n fx of x dx. And coming to the generating function, so if I want to see, this is individually you have to calculate the moments. If suppose I want to calculate all means in one shot, that is using a generalized function which is called as moment generating function. So moment generating function is defined as expectation of e power tx is equal to sigma e power tx px of k. So sigma summation. So in the place of x you have e power tx px of x. Similarly, even for continuous random variable, integration of e power dx fx of x. So that is for continuous random variable. So if I do this, what is the significance is I'll get all the moments at once. 1 plus. So you can do it as an you will get an equation in terms of expectation e power tx. E power tx, if you do the abbreviation, it is 1 plus x by x plus x square by 2 factorial and so on. So that if you write the representation of it and multiply with the density function, then apply the expectation individually to each term, then we get all the moments in one shot. Thank you.